Today's podcast is brought to you by nobody because we don't have any sponsors.
Welcome, everybody, to the inaugural episode of Our Wives Are Friends with your hosts, Tyler and Eric. Join us as we go through our journey of past, present, and future, talking about everything from meeting in 8th grade to becoming dads. We like to refer to it as a dadcast, not a podcast, so enjoy the show. Welcome, everybody, to the show. I'm one of your hosts, Tyler. And I'm just a regular dad with a 2.5-year-old daughter. Joining us today is your other host.
I'm your other host, Eric. I'm a dad times 3. I have a 2-year-old son, and I also have twin boys, identical twin boys, that are 9 months old.
That is, that's a lot to handle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, trust me, I've been over there. It's a lot of chaos.
I was going to say, Tyler, you've witnessed some of the moments of just pure chaos, and it's a lot to handle, but at the end of the day, there's a lot of fulfillment and joy that comes with it. But I'm not going to lie, by the end of the day, you're just pretty beat down.
Yeah, when every day is go to work, come home. By the time you get off work, it's eat, bath time, go to bed.
Oh, yeah. And then repeat the same cycle the next week.
Yeah, it's not a... And I only have one, and that happens. So I can only imagine doing it 3 times.
Yeah, it's funny with 3 kids that they all have their moments, you know. 2 of them might be perfect, well-behaved that night, and the third one, it's just kind of like, all right, I guess you're the lucky one tonight that's just giving us a tough time. So
yeah, I only have one, so it's either she's crying and shitting herself, or it's all good and she's happy and playing. There's no in between. It's either screaming or happy. Now, with your situation, you have either all 3 different personalities, basically. It's all happening all at once. There's no way all 3 of them are happy all at the same time.
yeah, we got that's very true. And we also you got to think about the diaper factory part of it too. Is like, you know, you get one of them changed, you got 3 to go, and then, you know, and before you know it, it's diaper changing again.
By the time you got the last one changed, the first one shit himself again. So
it's a full-time job.
How is it being a boy dad? Because I'm a girl dad, so I don't get it. Most of the time, I'm running around with a tiara on, with a wand, and a partial dress.
Yeah, no. Being a boy dad, there's nothing like it. But I would just say that they're a little more fearless and maybe don't listen as well. From our experience of hanging out with our families together, you know, Tyler's daughter, if she goes and starts running out toward the street, you know, he calls her and she'll come right back. And, you know, my boy, he'll just be off with the wind, you know, out there.
Yeah, he gives no fucks. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, let's put it that way. 0 fucks given.
Well, let's go into how we first met. Let's touch on that a little bit.
Yeah, me and Tyler, actually, we've known each other, gosh, it's probably been...
it's pushing 20 years.
Right about 20 years, I'd
Pushing.
say. Yeah, about 20 years. We played tackle football together in 8th grade. Then we went to high school together.
Yeah, went to high school, was friends all through high school, and then as high school relationships go, you kind of start to phase out, stop hanging out with the same crowds. But by chance, our probably, I don't know, 15 years later, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we've been out of high school for 15 years now, but...
We're old as shit.
Yeah, dude... You got more grade than I do, so...
That's coming in another episode. We'll talk about the joys of getting old. But
yeah.
Me and Tyler, we were really good friends in high school. And, you know, life just happens sometimes, you know. I think everyone can relate to this a little bit. It's just life gets in the way, you know. You start working full-time and you have a family. And once you're in that mode, it's really hard to find times for other things. And so we were lucky to get reconnected here.
I'm one of those guys too where I'm really lucky to have the friends I have, and all my friends are understanding that I may not always text back or be right to hop on, but if you know, we stay friends through all that. You know, the friends I do have, I can not talk to them for probably a year, and then all of a sudden it's just we still know we're friends at the end of the day.
Yeah, those are the best friends to have, where you can take some time apart and just understand that each person's just kind of dealing with their own
Yeah,
stuff. And
life happens.
yeah, and I can attest to what Tyler said. I'm just the worst at texting people back, especially during the work week. I'm just, I might text you back at 2 in the morning when I'm changing diapers. I don't know.
Yeah, I have another friend of mine that we may go a long time without texting, but I know that, or even talking or hanging out or anything like that. But I know if I called him or if he called me, we'd be right there. You know, and that's same with Eric and I. That I know during that time, 15 years that we maybe ran into each other occasionally. That if you if I ever saw your name on my phone, I know like, dude, it's serious. Like something's going on, and I'll
Yeah,
answer it. You know.
yeah, absolutely. Be the type where you just kind of drop everything and come if they need anything. But Tyler, why don't you go ahead and give our listeners a recap of kind of how we got connected and
Reconnected,
reconnected.
refriended.
Yes, it's very
Um,
important.
so basically, our wives started messing each other or commented on each other's post or something like that on like I want to say Facebook, Instagram, something like that. I don't know. I'm too old to know how to work any of that stuff. But they were messaging and hanging out, and she was telling me, "Oh, I've been talking to this girl, and we've been, conversing, and then more and more, I was like, oh, we're becoming friends. I'm like, oh, that's cool. And then she tell me, oh yeah, she just, they had a son. I'm like, oh, that's cool. And then they found out that they were having twins on made the gender reveal on the first son's first birthday, and I was like, damn, that's crazy. And then I saw Eric posting the same stuff, and it never dawned on me that it was the same people. Never dawned on me once. And so, and I'm pretty sure that same type of situation was happening at home for you, Eric.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. I came home from work one day, and my significant other, Kelsey, she asked me. She says, "Hey, do you know Tyler?"
And
And
this,
I mean,
and this is like months, like a month or two of like them talking the whole time and us not knowing.
yeah, yeah, they did this behind her back. So I paused for a moment, and I was thinking, "Oh boy, is this good or bad? Is this gonna be good or bad?" And anyway, they started laughing, and I said, "Of course, I know Tyler. I've known him for several years." And then she kind of explained that they had been kind of messaging back and forth, and it was funny because they didn't know that we've gone way back. So
Yeah, it was kind of funny when my wife Danielle, she's like, "Hey, do you know Eric?" And I was like, "Eric so and so," and she said, "Yeah," and I went, "Dude, he and I've been friends for like 20 years." She's like, "What the fuck?" So she had no idea, and I was like, "Oh yeah, we go way back, like way back." I said, "Yeah, you know most of those stories I've told you from back in the day, Eric was usually there."
yeah, that was the same on my end when I was like, I immediately started going into stories like, "Oh yeah, you want to know about Tyler?
You don't know about
Here's a
Geppetto?
good story."
We'll go into that later.
Yeah, this guy Geppetto just keeps. He's been harassing us for years now, and no one knows who he is.
But no, it's kind of a funny story. Like we were just like, oh shit, and then we were like, it made me feel stupid. First of all, I was like, how did I not realize that was you the whole time? And next thing you know, we're hanging out again, going to each other's houses, getting our kids together, and then it was just kismet after that.
Yeah, and it was funny too because we were talking earlier about getting kind of disconnected from people you were friends with in high school, and when she brought up Tyler's name, it just kind of made you pause and realize like, man, I haven't talked to him in a really long time. I wonder how he's doing,
And we've done a lot together. We played football together, went to high school together. We used to work together at the country club,
yeah,
pushing carts.
oh
And,
yeah,
scheming tips from members and all that good stuff.
nothing like a good old high school job.
Yeah, played golf together. There's a lot. Partied together. all the high school party stories and after high school party stories. And
Oh yeah, stay tuned, guys, because we'll have a lot of good stories
yes,
coming up soon.
definitely stay tuned. What about, well, let's get into the beginning. You want to jump into the beginning, talk about some of our early days of football and our beginning of our friendship.
Yeah, me and Tyler met, like we said, about 20 years ago. We played on a youth tackle football team.
Yeah, we were the shit.
We were the bottom feeders of the league.
We were the worst.
We were the second to worst
Yeah.
because we beat North High.
Yes, we did beat North High.
Well, actually, it wasn't high school. It was before high school.
It was, yeah, but it was the North High feeder team, right?
Yeah.
So
we did get one win that season.
the
That was it though.
yeah, we got destroyed. Every other game, it was just pounded to the ground.
It was bad.
And halfway through the season, I ended up getting an appendicitis, and so I wasn't even able to finish the rest of the season. So, dude, you told me that story not too long ago. Tell me that story. It's so funny.
Yeah, we're about midway through the season, I think, and we all noticed Tyler wasn't there in the morning. For it's game day, and we've been working all week, working hard in practice for game day, and you notice someone's not there. So obviously people start talking like, "Hey, where's Tyler?" So right before the game starts, our coach huddles us around and says, "Hey, Tyler had he had an emergency. He had an appendicitis. He's not going to be here with us for the game tonight, and we're not really sure when he's going to come back. But I want you guys to go out there and win this game for Tyler." And so everyone starts looking at each other.
And this is the first time like that I've actually heard the story, or if someone telling me like what the coach said and the team rallying and all this. From my perspective, I was in the hospital, had pneumonia from the anesthesia, and I ended up getting pneumonia, so that put me out like the rest of the season.
Yeah, yeah. But I was one of the players, and I was sitting there, and we were all looking at each other like, yeah, let's go out there and win this game for Tyler. We'd been a couple games in the season, we hadn't won a game, and everyone was just super hyped up. Like, yeah, we're gonna win this game for Tyler. We're going out there, we're gonna dedicate this performance to him.
It was like the Dollar General version of Friday Night Lights, dude.
That's a good way to put it. And we'll just fast forward to halftime at that particular game, and we get back in the circle, and we look up at the scoreboard, and we're losing 63-0. And our coach is still just like, "Come on, guys, we got to do this for Tyler." And in my head, I'm just like, Jesus Christ, like, we don't have anything left in the tank, man.
If we could come back from a 63-0 miracle, like that's on ESPN,
It was bad. It was really bad.
We need the water boy out there, just Bobby Boucher, just tearing it up.
It was just funny, though, how everyone was so hyped up in the beginning of the game, and then by halftime, we were just so demoralized. Like,
Dude, that's just the story cracked me up because I never heard that perspective until just recently, and it's been how long,
Yeah, it's been 20 years, and that's pretty much how the rest of the season went, though. I mean, we did win. We pulled off one game towards the end of the season. We won a game.
I remember like when I was back, I still wasn't like full. I still had like partial pneumonia, and I couldn't really participate. So I would still go to practices and like sit on the sideline type stuff, and then go to the games and cheer and stuff. And it was just a shit show. It was just like, oh, every game was like 50-0 by halftime, or whatever. It was a demoralizing season to go into your freshman year of high school and want to play football.
Yeah, I bet it was hard to watch from the sideline because it's one thing being out there on the field, but it's another thing being in the stands or on the sideline watching that unfold in front of you and just almost kind of feeling bad for your other players out there. Like, man, I feel bad for these guys.
That was my first time ever playing tackle football too. So like having that experience and then just getting destroyed and then having to sit out the rest of the season, it was definitely hard. It made me want to play in high school more because I was like, I can't end on that note. There's no way I can end on a season where we were that bad. Like, I have to go into high school and keep playing.
Yeah. The funny thing was we were in the same league, the prior year, and our team was actually really good that year. So coming into the season, we had really high hopes of being one of the top teams, and
That's because you were a bunch of seventh graders. Like,
Yeah, a lot changes from seventh to eighth grade.
yeah, when you go from, I don't know, scrawny to scrawny, it's you get all those kids that got held back, that their parents held them back to play sports on the other team, and they're all like 15-year-old eighth graders.
Dude, I'm not kidding. That year that we had that terrible record, there was a guy on one of the other teams that had like a full beard, and I was just
Reminds me of that scene. Was it
like, can somebody check this birth certificate?
yeah, what movie is that? Benchwarmers or something? Where he's like, I am 12, and he holds up his birth certificate's written in crayon. I can't remember. I think it's that.
I did have one highlight of that season. I had one game where I was particularly I played center, and I was just, man, I was just really, I was dominating. I had a dominant performance this week, and I looked back, and halfway through the game, I realized that their nose tackle was a girl.
That happened in high school. There was a girl that played for El Diamante.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I was playing. She was like an offensive guard, and I was playing D tackle, and it felt so weird. Like I just went full on straight bull rush punch to the chest. I said, if you're gonna play ball with the boys, then you're gonna get treated like one.
Oh yeah, I had no hold back at all, but
I definitely give kudos to her though, and she was good.
oh, absolutely. That takes a lot for them, to be on the field and
she was-
competing with the boys, especially.
She
It's
was-
one thing on the baseball field or something, but it's another when you're doing
like a
physical
contact
like-
contact sport. Yeah,
Yeah.
And she was pretty good. She was pretty strong, like surprising me. Yeah,
It could have been the same girl.
it might have been, might have been. Yeah, that's quite the story there.
So that goes into a little bit of our history on how we actually met.
Yeah, that was a interesting time. I wish I can go back.
Yeah, it'd be fun to go back and play that season over again.
Only if I can know what I know now.
But
Like-
I do think if we played that season over again, I think we'd still be 1-10.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's too much we could have done.
No, I think it was just I think it was a large aspect of coaching.
Yes,
A
coaching.
Large part of it was coaching, because that season, my high school run playing ball, we were pretty good.
Yeah, we were always in the top. Yeah.
And so it was kind of there was something else going on. So it must have been coaching or whatever, but we were too young to really recognize that. We just, yes sir, no sir, we'll do what you got to do, and then we get destroyed.
Yeah. It was one of those things where a lot of the coaching staff was just kind of made up of a lot of your buddies' dads that were on the team.
And they all know better than each other.
Yeah. All guys that used to play like 30 years ago, and
But started one game,
yeah.
and now they're the coach. Yeah, I got the opportunity to coach Centennial.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, for the Frost Off,
Yeah.
and I just, with my schedule, I was like, I don't think I can.
Yeah.
But that would, honestly, that'd be a lot of fun. I would enjoy that. I would just be busy all the time. I wouldn't never be home. I'd go straight from work to the football field, and that would just be rough.
Yeah.
5
Yeah.
days, 6 days a week,
So football's been a really intricate part of mine and Tyler's relationship. That's how we met, and we're both big time NFL fans, and
More so college lately.
yeah,
but I
college
still watch
is good
NFL.
too. Yeah, no.
Go Rams, you know what I mean?
I was going to say Tyler is a great guy. He's a stand-up guy. My only downfall with Tyler is that he's a Rams fan.
Hey man, not all of us can win as many Super Bowls as the 49ers have.
Wow.
We're still trying to catch up, all right? When you put together a program like they got now, and for whatever reason, cap space is invisible to them. It doesn't matter. They must have some whizzes in the front office, because they F those picks, you know what I mean? Apparently.
Yeah, that seems like what happened, and I'm a little bitter about the season still, but I can congratulate when someone wins the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
they deserved it.
Yeah, that NFC Championship game.
But I kind of feel like they almost pulled a Yankees move where they kind of bought a Super Bowl.
It wasn't Moneyball. It was Yankee ball.
Yeah, I mean it felt a little bit like that.
And I'm cool with it, because we got 2. You guys have what, 5?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to give props when props are due. That's one thing I've learned about football and being a fan is as much as you hate the other team, you still got to give people props if they outplay you or outperform you.
Yeah, there may be certain teams that I'm not fond of, but I will never bash somebody because of that. I might make fun of them a little bit, but that doesn't mean that you get to be a fan of whatever you want to be a fan of. I'm not here to convert you to a specific team.
Yeah.
If you're a Niners fan, you grew up a Niners fan, it is what it is. Now, Raiders fans, on the other hand, they all need to get some counseling.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding though. Like
they've been
if you're a
through
Raiders
some rough
fan,
times
awesome.
since the Tuck rules, though.
Yeah, that was when it. Yeah, I understand your hatred for Tom Brady. I get it.
I don't blame you.
No, but on all, I like as a whole, I like all NFL teams. Like they all have their own ups and downs, and it's a cycle. Every team's gonna have their up year. Every team's gonna have their down years. It's a cycle, unless you're the Browns.
Yeah, and a lot of it is really played on injuries and how much depth you have on your team. I mean, there's so many injuries that happen over a season that the team that started the season could be completely different at the end of the season.
Yeah, for sure.
What about college? Who's your college team?
Oregon.
Yeah,
The Ducks. Yeah, when I was young, I really enjoyed watching them. Where they were flashy. You know, every season, every game, they came out in a new uniform.
I do like that aspect.
The owner and the guy that started Nike,
yeah,
graduated from Oregon.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm pretty sure Nike's headquarters.
Yeah, their HQ,
Beaverton, Oregon. Yeah, I believe.
Yeah, their HQ's in Oregon, so they're a big affiliation right there. So they always get top-notch gear and all the new Nike stuff, and they get new jerseys and all that.
That's got to be a big draw with talent, you know, coming in there too.
They don't usually wear the same uniform for 2 games.
I have to say, I will give Oregon their props, as they're probably the best-looking team out there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm always. That's kind of my our thing is, hey, what uniform is Oregon wearing this week?
Yeah, I am myself. I'm a big USC fan. I just kind of grew up in a USC family. Everyone's just big USC, fans. We go to the games, and but if USC is having a bad season, I kind of revert back to being a Pac-12 fan, because being over here on the West Coast, sometimes you just get a little sick of hearing about the SEC all the time. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I agree with that. I will always support teams that go from the Pac-12.
And it's funny how college can be like that.
Unless you're Utah, though, I don't know. It's just that rivalry between Oregon and the Utah, where it's usually the Oregon and the Utes are up top, and that's usually the Pac-12 championship game. And I don't know what it is. It's that rivalry in me that I can't handle the Utes.
Yeah, no, that's understandable. I think it's funny though in NFL, you have your divisions, and if the 49ers weren't there, I would never root for another team in that division to win the Super Bowl. But in college, I'm all for it. I'm like, yeah, let's go Pac-12. Somebody from the Pac-12, please don't choke.
The only time I ever root for an SEC team is the team that beats Alabama.
Yeah,
that's usually the only time I'm rooting for an SEC team is if they're winning or about to beat Alabama, and I'm like, let's go.
Yeah, no, I could see that. I think it happens in the NFL too. The NFL, I think a lot of people are sick of seeing the Patriots win every year, and the same thing with college. People just get tired of seeing Alabama up there.
You can't say that now. You have to say get sick of seeing Tom Brady win every year.
Yeah,
he apparently can do it with any team.
Yeah, that's true. And he retired and then came out of retirement. So
yeah, that was a crock of shit. There was reasoning behind that. He didn't want to pay that fine. I don't know. There was a lot to it.
Yeah, I think there's more to the story that's getting told, but
yeah. Anyway, well, I know we kind of got off topic there. Just want to go deep diving into some football.
I know we just went straight into football talk. I think we're already just excited about the season coming up.
Yeah,
they just had the draft.
Just had the draft, and
which is, I think we should probably change subjects, but the draft was kind of a boring draft this year.
Yeah, there was. I'm sure a lot of these players are going to do great, but there was no standouts.
Yeah,
that was talked about, or even coming out of college that was like, this dude's a stud. I'm sure they're all studs. They're all going to be professional athletes, but no I don't know. You know what I'm saying? No these guys are guaranteed top fives.
Yeah, we'll find out in a couple of years. Sometimes these are surprise drafts where you come back and like, oh my God, there's so much talent in this draft. But I don't think right now. I don't think we're seeing it.
Yeah. So let's kind of shift topics here.
Yeah,
Um, so it's kind of interesting. We were hanging out, and we were like, "Hey, we have a lot of funny stories. We have a lot of history together. We have a lot of friends that will eventually probably bring as guest hosts or whatnot onto the Dadcast here, and uh, let's share some of these funny stories. Let's just have some talks. Most of the time when we get all of our group together, friends together, we're just nobody stops laughing. It's usually just a funny shit show of dumb things we've done.
we'll just say there's never a dull moment. There's always some kind of something going on.
Yeah, there's always some kind of story related to something. I'm pretty sure everyone says, "I've been there, done that." Well, I feel like we really have. We've really been there and done that. I don't know. High school is crazy for us.
Yeah, that's an understatement. We had a party house.
Which
Was
one?
that
We had multiple party houses.
our main party house was at Tyler's uncle's house. We'll leave him unnamed
I'm
for the
I'm
sake of the podcast.
I'm honestly surprised that we all still got good grades. Like we were still able to like party and get drunk every weekend, and then still show up and still get good grades, like to graduate.
Yeah, no, it was pretty impressive how you can pull that off. But I felt like in high school I was never really like the top exceeder as far as school went, but I felt like I always kind of just got by.
Yeah, same. I had the smarts to do it, but I never applied myself in the sense of I figured out that I could not do any homework, but as long as I got like hundreds on the tests, I could pass the class with like a B. I mean, I figured that out. So I barely ever did homework, and I'm a really good test taker. So I just bombed or knocked out all the tests, and there it
Were
was.
you a really good test taker? Was there more going on there?
No, I never. Hey, I never did any of that. I never got any of the answers.
I think I just did that senior
Uh,
year one time.
other people
it wasn't
did.
answers for myself. I was a teacher's assistant, and
Hey, you're incriminating yourself right now. You should probably stop.
yeah,
I think
let's,
the statute of limitations is gone, but
yeah,
hey,
let's cut. Yeah,
we don't need to get Hudgens in trouble. You know.
not naming any names, but I think it's funny though the way I look at it. Though I wish when I was in high school I would have maybe tried harder and done things a little bit differently. Because ultimately, now that I'm a dad, that's what I want for my kids, and I'm sure that's what my parents wanted for me.
Yeah, it's funny how that works, huh?
Yeah, it's
Like
things are coming full circle now.
definitely, if I could go back with knowing what I know now, I would probably be honors, AP, doing homework every night, studying every night, still
Oh
playing
yeah,
football.
yeah.
I'd probably done a couple other sports too, not just played football. You know.
Because looking back at it, it wasn't really that hard. It was just putting in the time and really
Yeah, but
putting in
we
the
were a bunch of
dedication.
fuck offs, and we all would rather hang out with our friends and typical teenage stuff.
Yeah, our whole graduating class of 2007 was pretty fucked off. I'm not gonna throw any names out there, but
No, yeah,
I was one of them, But I made it. I passed.
we
But I do want more for my kids. I want to drill in just the importance of doing those things. And my parents did that to me too. But I wish I would have listened a little bit more to them.
yeah, same. My parents have worked hard for everything they have, and were able to provide me with a pretty decent life growing up, and I just want to be able to do that with my daughter, and show her the value of working hard, and I hope that instills into her, whether it's through academics or uh, in the work life after, or just as simple as living life of. I mean, she's 2.5, so picking up her toys, having a good work ethic.
Yeah,
There's not much work ethic you can have as a 2.5-year-old, but
yeah. But they do have some chores they can do around the house.
and she's super smart, so she knows better. She's Eric's been around my daughter. She's very intelligent. And
Absolutely.
she's a firecracker, and she knows exactly what she's doing.
Oh, I'd say for sure. But there's some chores they can do. My son's 2. He's a little bit younger than Tyler's daughter, but he has some things like we can open up the laundry and have him take out the laundry out of the dryer, and he brings it on the couch and throws it everywhere. He doesn't quite fold it, but
Yeah, you don't have it there yet where he's
I mean,
folding your underwear.
he's transporting it.
Yeah, he can take it from point A to point B. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good enough.
He can't quite fold my underwear, but I had a pair that was on his head the other day, and I was just like, "Oh boy, I don't think you want those on your head, buddy.
Yeah, I don't,
Those things saw a rough week this week."
skid marks and all, man. You should probably throw those ones out, I think.
Oh yeah, every now and then you just got to part ways and be like, "Man, I've had these pair of chonies for."
So what is it like for you going from not you, because it happened for you so fast to go from not being a dad to now you have 3 kids under 2? Because
Yeah.
you made that announcement on your son's first birthday that you were having twins.
Right.
So then it was just like wham bam, thank you ma'am, go from 0 to 3
Yeah, it's
so
definitely
quick.
an adjustment. With our firstborn, neither of us had any baby experience. No members of our family had any young kids. So our first one was a really good learning experience. Thankfully, we had that before we got the twin bomb dropped on us. But it's an adjustment with 2. There's a lot of work to be done. Bringing one child into the family is really stressful, and a lot of adjustments, and uh, bringing 2 at the same time, it's pretty crazy. And I really commend other twin parents out there.
I commend the wives, man.
Oh yeah,
The things that my wife does, and especially yours, I don't know how they do it. Like super moms, man.
yeah. I mean, I'm at work, Monday through Friday, usually about 10 or 12 hours a day. So I go a little crazy just on if I'm Saturday, if I'm home alone for like 4 or 5 hours, I'm just like,
Yeah, I
oh my
commend. I
gosh.
commend. I mean, my wife only has one daughter that's just take care of all day, but I see it in her eyes when I get off work. So I try and do everything I can to help give her a little break.
Yeah,
But having 3 all day, and then like yours, I mean, our they're just. I mean, I can't say any more words. They're amazing.
yeah, yeah. Thankfully, we're heading we're starting to head to the tail end where the twins are 9 months old, and they're getting a little bit easier to deal with. They're sleeping a little bit better at night. They're getting a little more self sufficient. Starting to crawl around. But those first 6 months, those are rough.
Yeah,
Those
yeah, I
are really
remember.
rough.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I had COVID during that time. I had COVID. Like, we had twins that were born and they were in the NICU for a few weeks. That was a whole nother experience. But we ended up getting them out of the NICU 2 weeks later. And like a day after we got them home from the hospital, I tested positive for COVID, and I had to go quarantine somewhere for like 10 days.
And so Kelsey was stuck.
Yeah, so we had some family, and her family came over, and my family came over, and kind of helped us get through that period. But it was just a challenging time for sure.
Yeah, that'd be hard with 3, and then you having brand new babies and not being able to see them.
Yeah, yeah, because I was going down there, a couple times a week in the hospital, but then you're looking forward to bringing them home because they've been in the hospital, and then immediately I have to get out of there and quarantine for a few days.
Yeah, we weren't even supposed to have one. Like ours is a miracle baby
Yeah.
because my wife Danielle, we were told that by the doctor that you'll never have kids. You have
Yeah.
like a 1% chance that we'll ever have kids. So it brought some turmoil to the relationship of like I would imagine any couple finding out that they'll probably never have a kid.
Right.
But it was definitely a challenge, and we had to make that acceptance of, well, I still want to be with you. Like, I'm not going to leave you because you can't have a kid.
Yeah.
And it's not about that. I mean,
Right.
there's always adoption. There's other routes you can take.
Right.
But, yeah, so 4 months later, we changed some diet stuff. She went on some of these like supplements to help, and found out we were pregnant 4 months later, and it was kind of like, no, that has to be wrong, And went to the doctor. Nope, yep, there it is. There's the baby, and it was like we just broke down in tears, because we had made the acceptance of we'll never have a kid.
Yeah, no, that's such a amazing story, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of there's a lot of people that are really fighting that same battle,
Mm-hmm.
and it's funny just to learn about just some of the miracles that happen on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
Where
There's not a lot of stuff. A lot of people don't talk about like the scary things or the crazy things during pregnancy and birth
right,
and all that. It's always the happy-go-lucky things, not how um, Danielle almost died after 6 hours later after giving birth. She almost bled out and died because
yeah,
there was a blood clot they didn't catch,
yeah,
and that I was the first one to feed my baby,
right,
and she didn't have that luxury of being able to feed her for the first time. I was the one that did it. The dad. I was the
yeah,
first one to change her diapers. I was the first one. This all because that issue that she had,
yeah,
and she was stuck being tended to by the doctors and nurses and trying to recover and all this stuff. So I had to step up and be the first to do any of that, and that was a kind of a big blow to her morale as a becoming a first time mom.
yeah. There's a lot of challenges to get through, and everyone's story is different. Everyone's going to go through a different experience, but everyone's going to have a different challenge that they have to overcome through that whole process. A lot of ours was that Kelsey was really sick during both pregnancies with the
Yeah,
twins.
yeah.
She was really sick the whole time,
Danielle had. There's no such thing as morning sickness. It was
full
sick
time.
all day, every day for 9 months.
Yeah,
It was head in the trash can, head in the toilet for 9 months.
yeah, and they go through a lot during that whole process. It's kind of opened up my eyes and really just have a newfound respect for the whole process in general. But dads too. Dads. Oftentimes there's a lot of jokes, about dads really not being as involved and stuff. But me and Tyler are really hands-on parents, and
I like it. I wouldn't want it any other way. I like being there and seeing all the firsts and being involved. I mean, I may not get to do a lot of the stuff I would like to do,
right,
hobbies or whatever, playing video games or getting able to watch TV on my actual 65-inch TV that I bought. I get to watch Paw Patrol and all that stuff on it while I'm stuck watching on a 4-inch phone.
at least if you're watching Paw Patrol, at least it's in HD.
Yeah, at least it's in HD. That's why I go, hey, let's watch the Paw Patrol movie, because then it's it's 4K.
Yeah,
Let me get some of that.
No, you definitely have to. Everything else takes the back seat, and you really gotta focus on one day at a time. And unfortunately, that leaves us with our hobbies and other things kind of put on the back burner. But and a lot of times, by the end of the night, when all the kids do fall asleep, you don't really have a whole lot of energy to kind of pursue some of these hobbies and activities and stuff. But I wouldn't have it any other way. At the end of the day, as long as my kids are all taken care of and they're happy, I'm happy too.
Yeah, I feel that. I may have moments of like, I wouldn't call it depression,
Yeah.
but it's like a lull
Yeah.
of like rinse and repeat. I go to work, come home, go to bed. Go to work, come home, go to bed. Go to work, come home, go to bed.
Yeah.
And it kind of takes a toll on you.
Yeah.
Where there's no break in the repetitiveness,
Right.
And
Do you think there is a such thing as like postpartum depression for males? Maybe not as chemically driven or imbalanced, I guess.
I don't know. I know when I like took time off for the baby and then like went to work.
Yeah.
It was weird.
Yeah.
Just because I was the one taking care of not just the baby but Danielle, because she was pretty much on couch rest or bed rest after the issue she had. She couldn't even walk after.
Right.
So a lot of it was me helping for like 3 weeks.
Yeah. I don't think I don't think it's as like maybe chemically or physically as like maybe how women are with postpartum, and that's a very serious issue. But I do think there's a degree to maybe some kind of adjustment. I don't know.
Yeah, that's Yeah, that's a whole nother.
And I don't think it's not like a bad thing, but like you said, you just you get burnt out. You have to support your family. You got to be there and be present when you get off work, and it's a nonstop cycle that just doesn't stop.
Yeah, and Danielle has a business degree,
Yeah,
and by the time she were to go to work right now, all the money would go to daycare because daycare is so expensive.
exactly.
So there's no point.
Yeah, that's how Kelsey's staying home with the kids. But if we decided we wanted to put them in daycare, it'd be so expensive, especially for three,
Three,
that it's like,
dude, it's like $1,000 a month
yeah,
or
it's
something like that just for daycare. Like, it's not even full time. It's like 3 days a week.
yeah, it's crazy.
Dude, it's nuts.
I think maybe we should just have the girls open up their own
Dude,
daycare.
yeah, let's just get them certified, open up their own daycare.
I mean, there's 4 kids already. What's a couple more?
Dude, yeah, come on. We need like 2 parents. What's the cutoff to make it a daycare? 6? I don't know. Maybe we can just keep it at the 4, and they can just run their own daycare together.
Yeah, it's tough. I feel for a lot of families out there that are struggling and they need to go to work and the daycare expenses and things add up. Look at we feed our twins formula and the formula prices are just kind of crazy.
If you can find it.
If you can find it, yeah.
Yeah.
I went to the store today and they're all sold out.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy.
So
It's like what do you do? Yeah.
Luckily,
Time to get the boob out. To get that going again. She may need your participation.
I mean, you can try, yeah.
Eric, can I help you? Nope, just trying to start the flow, baby.
Yeah, I feel for a lot of people right now, especially ones that are having kids that are really struggling to find the formula that they need right now. Because the twins, they're at the stage right now where they're kind of eating like little pouches of Whole Foods. So if worse comes to worse, they'd be okay. But
yeah, they can eat that rice cereal or the Gerber oat cereal or that type of stuff.
Right.
But then you got to think about so my niece, she's lactose intolerant and she had to have a special formula because she didn't take to breast milk. So she had to have like a special non-lactate green type formula, and it was crazy expensive. And could you imagine not having that available?
no.
Like some specialty thing?
Yeah, it's funny you say that because one of our sons, one of the twins, he had like a sensitive stomach, so he needed a special formula, and it was always hard to find. It was expensive, and we ended up our doctor's office. Luckily, always had some samples or stuff. They'd be really generous in giving us some samples, but there's a lot. I was just reading an article today, and it doesn't seem like it seems like 6 to 8 weeks or so before they're going to really
Yeah,
start.
because the main there's only like one main factory in the United States that
Yeah.
that's like the biggest producer of baby formula, and they shut it down because there was issues at the plant.
Yeah.
Quality issues. Like I'm not gonna go into like details or anything
Yeah.
because I don't know the whole story.
Yeah.
But it seemed like they kind of like when you go to a restaurant and they shut down because there's roaches.
Right.
It was the same type of deal. It seemed like they shut down the, because there was like some quality issues.
Yeah, I think some babies got sick somewhere along the way, and
That's a big deal. Like
that is
it's
huge,
babies. I don't want anything to happen to babies.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's quite the topic.
Yeah, as you can see on this Dadcast, I should say, we're gonna go off into different tangents. And
Yeah, and it's just talk. We're yeah, it's just gonna be whatever we want to talk about. So that's the beauty of it, is that we're gonna start with a topic and kind of most likely we're gonna go off on a tangent.
Yeah, and one more thing about the formula before we move topics is that, having the twins too that means double the formula.
Mm-hmm.
So we were going through at least 1 can of formula a day, at about 45 to
That's
50
crazy.
bucks a pop.
Yeah.
Times that by 30 days, that's like $1,500 a month.
Yeah, we
just
had
on formula.
We had the luxury of not having to use formula,
Yeah.
and my daughter didn't breastfeed, but Danielle pumped, and so that saved not only so much money,
Right.
but it was just so much more convenient. It
Yeah.
was always breast milk available. She could eat it anytime.
Did you guys freeze some of it?
Oh, dude, yeah. And Danielle donated a ton of it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know the specific ounce number, but it was like 600 ounces or something like that. It was a lot.
Yeah, we did that our first go around with our oldest, and it was convenient. It was nice.
She'll probably yell at me and be like, "It was 900."
Yeah,
You know, it's
yeah,
like I got the number wrong. My bad. But it was a lot that she donated, so we were able to help out other families and other stuff. So that was really good.
yeah. There's some good programs out there. I think it's called the kind of like a milk bank type of
Yeah,
program.
yeah, and it's all good stuff because they test it, and you can't be, they're gonna kick out all the moms that, I don't know, have stuff in their system that they shouldn't be there.
Yeah, it's just like it's one thing if you're gonna do that. It's another thing if you're gonna donate that to others. Like,
Yeah. Why's my baby drunk? It's in the milk. No, it helped out a lot during everything that was going on. Was there's a lot of properties in breast milk that you don't get from formula. Danielle and I both got COVID. Austin didn't get sick at all. She got all the antibodies.
yeah.
All the antibodies, and so it was good. It was great.
I always wondered how when I had COVID, how none of my other family members got it, especially the twins and Kelsey. But it could have been because of her her
Who
hormones
knows?
being really high. I'm not a doctor, so
Yeah, we don't know.
I'm not going into that.
Yeah, we don't need to go into.
I'm
that
not going to
topic.
pretend like I know.
That's how we get flagged. We don't get flagged on the first episode. We don't need to do that. So yeah, we don't know the specifics about anything. Just we're dumb, so don't listen to us. But yeah, no, this has been a great first episode. I think we hope you guys and everyone enjoyed it, and I know this is probably how it's going to be for a while. The whole thing is just gonna be we're gonna talk about whatever we want to talk about, and we're gonna be pretty real about it.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to skirt around the edges. Like if there's an issue or a story, I'm gonna tell it how it is, like what really happened, or how I really feel about something. So I think it's been a great first episode.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. So I hope everyone enjoyed the show. We're gonna cut it right now. But yeah, I think it's been a great episode, and I hope everyone comes back for the many other random topic episodes that we're going to be having in the future.
Yeah, we'll get into a lot of fun and exciting stuff going forward. So stay tuned.
All right. I hope everyone has a great day.